to understand a little bit about Metaverse's vision in terms of being like the blockchain in China. And I also wanted to sort of pick your brain about what you think the future is specifically for protocols and how it relates. And then my last part will specifically be about AI. So maybe you can tell me like a bit how you got into the space.
Okay, space meaning cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
That was some story actually. My wife got me into this space.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not that early, like 2013. Originally I'm a programmer, Java developer. I did about 13 years of Java development. But on the spare time, I invest into like US stocks, options, and some forex. And I wrote my own algorithm trading program, right? So I know trading. So I moved back to China. One day, my wife called me, say her birthday is coming up, and this year's birthday present, she wants Bitcoin. I was like, what is Bitcoin? And she told me 2 words. She says, find out. I said, okay, what's the best way to find out what Bitcoin is, right? So the best way is to find somebody else to tell me about it. But I don't see anyone around in China to tell me what Bitcoin is. So what's the second best way? YouTube. So VPN is a virtue of a programmer. So the Great Firewall didn't stop me. So I log on to YouTube and I search what is Bitcoin. And for 14 hours, I think more than 14 hours, I've been watching all the videos. I didn't drink anything, I didn't eat anything, I didn't sleep. It's just fascinating. After 14 hours, I said, okay, I surrender to anarchists. But that was my initial judgment of what Bitcoin is, right? So you cannot control it. No government can control Bitcoin. So I thought, that's great. That's great. So that's my story to Bitcoin. So that was 2013. Then I said, okay, I need to know more about it. So I took my wife to Miami. We participated in this Bitcoin Miami conference. That was January 2014. So I met a lot of big names there, like Roger Ver, Charlie Shrim, and what's the name? Bishop's founder.
Brightman?
The Bytemaster. What's his name? Daniel Larimas. Yeah.
I remember, right.
And he was preaching his new product called Coyote, which is a digital identity. What was my topic today? Digital identity.
Digital identity.
Yeah, he was talking about digital identity 2014 January. Right? So he was preaching about BitShares. So I participated their ICO. I made some money, for sure. Yeah. So that was my story. I went back to China. I wrote about my experience in Miami. So I become instant KOL, right? So that was my story. Yeah. So mid 2014, I met Vitalik in Toronto. I thought his work was great. I said, wow, you have such a great team, and you should come to China to tell us about it. So I took him to China. So May 2014, a 4-city tour, Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, and Shenzhen. That's probably the first ever Ethereum roadshow ever, right? So I actually took him to Shenzhen. That city actually manufactures lots of mining machine, and he saw this mining machine came down the production line. And he says, that's like 20% of the total hashing power. And yeah, and he wrote an article on Bitcoin magazine about it, and you can take a look those articles, those pictures I took. Interesting,
That's
right?
Amazing.
Yeah. So that was some history. That's how I got into the space. Why the Metaverse project was in 2016. when the DAO happened. So Ethereum hard fork, right? And become ETC and ETH. Before the hard fork, I was telling Vitalik about. I was telling Vitalik, don't do the hard fork. I said I represent Chinese community saying no to hard fork because you don't rewrite your ledger, right? It's blockchain is immutable.
Whole point of that is
yeah,
immutable.
the whole point is no rollback. Well, he didn't listen. So I said I was doing some development. I was doing some real project. It was land deeds project for a municipal government. I was like, I didn't finish the project. I said, if I finish the project, then you suddenly say you have 2 land deeds on 2 different blockchains. What am I going to tell the government about it? So I was telling, I was telling Vitaly that I would never do anything on Ethereum anymore. But it was very emotional, right? But I mean, it was overreact. But the consequence is, I said I will do my own blockchain. So that's where the metaverse came from. So the name metaverse actually came from Neil Stephenson, Snow Crash. I read this book like 2004, I think, 2004, 2003, I don't remember. But I was so impressed because the book itself was written in 1991 or 92. Back then there's not much internet at all. And Neil Stephenson described a virtual world called metaverse, and people like that pizza delivery guy actually spend most of his time virtually, right? So imagine when I was in university, I probably spent 2 hours every week on computer because that was a scarce resource in China back then, right? But nowadays, I spend like I probably only 2 hours every day not on internet. So we are actually moving into this virtual world.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So you make friends virtually.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Telegram or say WhatsApp or WeChat friends I never met.
Yeah.
In face to face. And in China, I have a nickname we call early summer tiger because I use Weibo, which is Twitter in China. That's my Weibo name, Twitter name. I wrote a lot of articles use that name. If I tell them my real name, they don't know who I am. They only know me by early summer tiger. So that's my avatar, right? That's the avatar that's described in metaverse. So I was like, so think it's going to happen. That's why the project name is metaverse. I think the first step is digitize all the assets because you spend so much time socializing on internet. Why don't you transact on internet?
Totally agree.
Then next thing is digitize your identity because you need your digital identity to hold on to the digital asset. Because for physical human being, you're not able to hold on to any digital asset. You need a digital identity, and that digital identity better be yours, not belong to WhatsApp company or Facebook company. Am I right? So
Totally agree.
yeah. So I call this initially I call this digital identity avatars. You can guess why, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Metaverse project is something Ethereum-like. You can guess because
Does it have smart contracts? Like what?
Not really, because I think the problem with the DAO is the smart contract. You allow anyone to write smart contract at the lower level, infrastructure layer of a blockchain. That's kind of scary because where is the security?
And it's also not. It's weakly typed, right? It's not even strongly typed.
I know.
Which is a super big problem.
It's a big problem. And for the DAO is you have no brake.
Right.
It's like a car. You're driving, and suddenly you find there's a problem there. You can't stop it.
Right.
Right. So they noticed the DAO being hacked, and the money kept going out, and there's no off switch.
Right.
Right. So that's some problem. So what I was telling my friends is, I don't want some recent college grad kid write this long smart contract, where the real smart contract is really only 3 lines.
Right.
It's not a testing ground,
I totally agree.
right? So I call it building smart contract. So if you really have a good idea, if you really think you need to write a smart contract, you create a metaverse improvement proposal. Tell us your idea, and we will we will publish on the website, and all the teams in the community will bid for this MIP, and will be compensated for by our token ETP.
So it's like a co-op.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for finish this MIP. So the code quality is good, right? And the validity of MIP will be approved first. Then we will approve the quality of the code. That's, we call it building. Then it become part of the metaverse. It's a building smart contract. And if you want to customize your smart contract, we always have our API and RPC, things like that. You can do it at the application layer, not here.
Right. So you were saying that you were a Java developer. So can you talk to me a bit about the tech stack, like
Okay.
that Metaverse is built on?
C++.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, I was a Java developer. I totally realized that you need the JVM to run
Yeah.
Java. You don't. Then you need another VM on top of that. That's just crazy. No.
Right.
No.
Plus, there's no way that JavaScript, that the current...
Java Pro. No, I don't. Well, I know NXT is the Java. I don't know how NXT is working.
Yeah.
I heard good thing about NXT, but I don't know. But my CTO Chen Hao is he was working for Accenture, C++ guy, and we have a core team of 12 developers. All of them are C++. So I think C++ is the language.
I totally agree.
Well, Bitcoin is C++ and Ethereum C++, Bisher is C++. There you go.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense that because I'm a Java developer.
Yeah, but there haven't really been any strong indications that Casper or Plasma is actually going to work on Ethereum.
No. See, Ethereum has a lot of proposals before,
Right.
and I just told them outright it's not going to work. Remember, they said a year ago they want to move to POS.
Right, POS, and they haven't done it.
I told them to their face, not going to work. I was right.
Yeah.
And still POW.
You know, and Vlad moved over to our chain,
Oh yeah, I didn't know. Okay.
which is an indication that that the core developing team has
Differences.
Differences. Yeah.
Well, that I think Neo, you know the project Neo, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how they're built.
It's a C# program.
C#. Okay.
C#. That's one technical difference. I don't
Right.
like C#. The other
don't
technical
either.
difference is I always believe POW is the most stable consensus algorithm as we speak now.
Right.
Maybe in the future there is some other consensus algorithm better than POW. I don't know. I think DPoS is good, but it's not proven. But before that happened, I'll still use POW.
Yeah.
Because Metaverse and Ethereum are asset issuing platform. People actually put their digital asset on Metaverse,
Totally.
on Ethereum,
Yeah.
and I really need a reliable consensus algorithm.
I totally agree.
Right.
If you don't, then you're screwed.
I'm not experimenting anything. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So Ethereum, if you want to move to POS, go ahead, please, and prove to me it works, and I will follow.
Yeah.
Right?
That's smart.
I don't want to be the pioneer of this thing. I need all the assets on Metaverse to be secure and
Yeah.
safe.
And what's the current state of Metaverse? Like, are you guys? So you first started in China?
Yes, it was 2016 August 5th. We start our Metaverse ICO,
Okay.
and it was a painful ICO. It took us like 32 days. We raised about 2 point something million US dollar. Very small figure.
Very small back in the day.
Very small figure. And it was so hard because I have to explain what ICO is.
Right.
Nobody knows ICO.
Nobody knew at the time.
Yeah, just 1 year ago, right?
Right.
Nobody knows. And I told when the hype of ICO, May 2017, months ago, right? I told them if we ICO Metaverse that day, we can easily get what 20 million?
20 million, yeah.
Or 40, even 40 million.
Of course, because it's a platform.
And
play.
not 32 days, probably 32 minutes.
Right, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can tell you, Metaverse is a finished product. It's not like it's not a
So then it's
white
even
paper.
less
Yeah.
of a security because
Exactly.
it's an actual functioning product.
Yeah. So the story is we finished the ICO by September 5th, 2016. We got this $2 million. So we said, okay, that's great. Let's build a product. So we built product. We finished the product February 11th, 2017. So about 9 months. And it was working. And we've been marketing it to the Chinese company. I would tell them, you know, this is like a token issuing platform. You can issue your own token, and we have digital identity. You know, you can.
So you already have digital identity.
We have some rudimentary level of digital
But
identity.
Uport has been in development for years, and they're still not functioning.
I actually flew to New York City and just listened to Uport's pitch, and technically they're very strong. And I've been asking their question. I've been asking them.
Yeah, but their product is not.
I know. I know. I said, "What's your marketing strategy?"
Right.
He said, "Oh, well, we're packed with Ethereum.
Ethereum.
When Ethereum expands, we will expand."
Right.
It's like, no, that's not a marketing strategy.
Right. That's a marketing prayer.
That's not. So I said, yeah, technically you guys are very strong, but you're probably not our competitor.
Right.
We will do way better than you guys, and they don't know us, and we study many of our competitors.
The other competitor is Civic.
Back then, Civic's not there yet. Civic's
Right.
is pretty. I forgot the name. It was in New York City as well. Yeah, anyway, I forgot. Some Sharp Car, another key. Anyway. Yeah. I've been studying them. I've been too busy. I forgot the name. Anyway, key something. They were doing good and great concept. So we were studying them. Get whatever the good points and add it into Metaverse. That's it. So from February to July, short 5 months, we got about 30 different projects on Metaverse. I was so happy that back then, right? So at the end of July, I hosted the. I've been telling my marketing team. I said we have 30 projects. Why don't we just have a showcase of all the projects? Let's have a conference to invite all these 30 companies come to showcase their product. So we did, and then the news leak came out. A lot of Chinese company came by and said, "Why don't you guys do a overall ICO project conference, not only limit to Metaverse?" I said, "Sure, it's an open, blockchain area is like very open. If you guys want to come, why not?" So it became a huge conference, and July 30th, July 31st, 2,500 people showed up at the conference.
Where was this?
In Shanghai.
In Shanghai.
2,500 people showed up, and we were only anticipating 2,000.
Wow.
So we have to shut the gate. There are about 400 people outside. So, we want to get in. I was like, whatever. That was the peak of that time.
Madness.
Yeah, peak of the matter. Then it came the regulation. It says every ICO needs to refund their tokens. All these, most of the 30 projects are Metaverse. Remember, Metaverse is a token issuing platform.
Right.
They issue tokens on
Right.
Metaverse. They have to refund all the tokens. There goes their funding.
Right.
So all these 30 projects, I would say
But they
half.
still have code, right?
They still have code.
So they just had to refund it
They have to refund the money. They have no fund.
until the communist government decides to switch back on.
Yeah, and some of the
Which is
project.
not really a fair thing for them to do, right? Because they shut it down and then they bought while Bitcoin was low, right? I mean, it was just market manipulation.
I know. And the problem is, if you are really doing your own project, develop your product, the minute you got your money, what do? You start hiring.
Right.
You,
So you've already spent it.
you rent an office, you sign the software contract, right?
Right.
And you already spent it. Now you ask them to refund all the money.
Or what happens? They go to jail.
Yeah, they go to jail.
Oh my god.
So they have to come up with money.
Right.
So it's like fire sale. So okay,
It's like a fire
hi
sale.
investor, I'm like $2 million short. Can you save me here? I'm like
Or I go to jail.
yeah, 10 cents out of the dollar. How about you buy me off? Things like that. That was what happened in September.
So, what's your strategy here? Do you think that we should just wait it out? Do you want to?
I think now it's recovered a little bit. I got approached by quite of the founders. They said they want to continue their project. They asked me if I still supporting them. I said, yeah, by all means, of course, right? But if you guys cannot do any ICO, you need to think about your funding.
Right. So we should just do it from a tradition. We should just run it
VC,
from traditional.
yeah, virtual capitalists, or you go
or a traditional
come
head-
to Dubai and
Right.
you do an ICO here.
Right. So we're starting a hedge fund in the blockchain space, and we're like there's an obvious use case here, right?
Yeah.
So if they need help, like we should definitely fund them.
There you go. It's a private fundraising. It's not a ICO public
Right.
fundraising. That should be okay, I think.
Yeah. I agree.
So these 30 projects are mostly in China. Then I thought my strategy probably wrong for the first half of 2017 because I spent too much energy in China. I thought China was the biggest market. I should focus on China, but I was wrong. I should have come to Dubai, go to Europe.
Yeah, but you still have the code, right?
I still have. Well, they still have the
So
code.
they still have the code.
Yeah.
They
didn't-
just lost a bit of equity
Yeah,
in the company.
it didn't affect Metaverse much because
Right.
Metaverse when we ICO the token price was like 10 cent, 12 cents US dollar
Right.
per token, and the market price went up to $6.
Right.
So when we offer a refund, nobody gonna sell it to me.
Right.
So we're fine.
Right.
And I told the government there's no way for me to get the token back. I can only they only pay me like 12 cents.
Right.
I can offer 12 cents for the coin back. They don't want to sell to me. What are you
What'd
gonna
they
do?
say?
No, they said fine. They
So
said
they're
fine.
just trying to strong arm you, basically,
I
and
guess
throw
so.
you in jail.
Oh, no. They're fine with Metaverse. And Neo is the same thing.
Right.
Right. Neo is like way up, right? So
So what should happen is we should just, like foreign companies should take possession
yeah,
in the meantime, and then give it back whenever China decides to go live.
I think so. And
Smart.
some other tokens.
Just buy you out.
Yeah, buy you out. Exactly. Some other newly ICO'd project, they didn't go, they didn't list on market very long,
Yeah.
so they have to refund.
Yeah.
The price is like at par, and you spend money.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Right.
Wow.
So that's a problem.
Well, yeah, I agree. One of the projects that we're building is a decentralized exchange. So it's non-custodial, it's federated, proof of stake, like a cross-chain exchange.
That's a good idea.
Right.
Well,
so
did you look into BitShares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what their current status is because I don't think they're fully decentralized.
It is okay.
Is it?
It's okay. BitShares is okay. They're probably the first decentralized exchange ever.
But it's custodial. They have custody of the keys.
No, they don't. They don't. They have. I think they have. What do you call this? oracles maybe to become the gateways to facilitate deposit and withdrawal. But the BitShare platform itself is decentralized.
Yeah, I think this is where our lead architect is building Omega One.
Okay.
And he's building another, basically another C++ blockchain that can provide liquidity proofs across blockchains.
Well, that's something. So decentralized exchange has a lot of things to look into.
Yeah.
Because it really cannot be a proof of work platform.
No, it has
It's
to
too
be proof of
slow.
stake.
Yeah, has to be.
And we're not issuing a token. It's not a token-based thing.
Right. It's I actually thought it through because Metaverse is a token issuing platform.
Right. Exactly.
It would be so beautiful that you can trade your token on Metaverse. But we
course.
tried. We tried to build a decentralized exchange on Metaverse. Actually, this is one of our plan, one of the MIPs.
So maybe you could just run ours.
Yeah, but we are POW. You are POS. So
Right, but we're going to be running across Bitcoin and Ether and whatever else.
Sure,
So.
we can do that,
Yeah.
or we build our own.
Yeah.
We're actually building our own, but now we have some technical difficulties as POW.
Yeah.
Because it's like 24 seconds per block. And how many transactions can you have during this 24 seconds? You place an order, you realize it's wrong at 24 seconds, then you can cancel your order
Right, exactly. So
in
you're front
24
running.
seconds. Like 48 seconds to cancel an order?
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
So something has to be done there. It's technical research. Lots of research time needs to throw in.
Yeah, I agree. Rick Dudley has been researching this for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's working on Omega One, and this is something that can sort of work in conjunction together, rather than just like a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
What's being done with AI and Metaverse?
AI, artificial intelligence, not much yet.
Not much yet.
Not much yet, but we definitely want other people to do things on Metaverse.
So one of the projects that we're building is called AIDEA, which is an AI platform that connects digital health companies with big data to algorithm developers who can develop smart data on it.
Okay, interesting.
And so all of the data that's uploaded is, let's say Johnson & Johnson uploads it. They make sure it's de-identified and anonymous, and then so they can basically share their data with people who can benchmark it with algorithms.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
idea.
one particular scenario. We were thinking about using an Ethereum token, but it's very possible we could just use a Metaverse
Oh,
instead.
that would be great.
Yeah.
See, that's my strategy of the second half of the 2017 is I'll go to Moscow. So they invite me to Moscow.
Yeah.
Switzerland, a D10E, Gibraltar, maybe Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Well, if you want to zoom in, we can have you in New York,
That would be great.
and you don't have to even, we don't have to fly you in, but you
Right.
can just zoom in.
I don't mind. I don't mind flying.
Yeah.
So I think I need to pay more attention into the global market instead of just local Chinese.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, all of the global market wants to get into China at some point.
Hey, I have 100 people working in China right now.
Right.
Yeah, and I run Shanghai blockchain meetup for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm very well connected. So, but
Amazing.
ICO is the word that I cannot mention.
I know.
In
So
China
what about
at this moment.
TGE?
TGE is fine. Hey, token generation event. There you go. WeChat, right? We have the WeChat wall. I wrote this. I said, any Chinese who know what TGE is gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I bet that regulators don't know what TGE is. I wrote that.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask, what is TGE? What is that token? I said, no, that's not a token. It's not a token.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Good. Well, I'd be glad to help out however I can. I've been doing blockchain meetups in the city. We've had Bancor stop by, Iroha Soramitsu, which is the Hyperledger. And then IOTA is going to present. We've had Archain stop by, and there's so we've been doing a bunch of different meetups kind of regularly. But I'd be glad to have you stop by whenever.
That'd be great. I'll be glad to.
Skype in or whatever.
Sure, Skype in is fine.
My ideal scenario would be to see how if I can, because I have a development background, but I would also love to sort of go head to head from like Metaverse, Ethereum, and even NEM.
NEM, yes.
Yeah, I'm not exactly familiar with their tech stack very well, and I'm a bit skeptical of their ability to execute.
NEM, they have very strong marketing team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they market to governments every single Eastern Asia government. They did great marketing front, but technically, I don't know. I need to find out.
Yeah.
I've been so busy dealing with regulators for the past 2 months, and one day someone asked me, Eric, what's the difference between Ethereum and Metaverse and Wave? I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't read much about Wave, sorry.
Yeah.
But if you asked me a year ago, any project of on blockchain, I'll tell you right out. But nowadays, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I spend too much energy dealing with regulators.
And I think it sort of hurts the space because we're all trying to a lot of people are just trying to create their own platform rather than actually solve the problem.
The problem, yeah.
Right, so if, like, let's say a business gets built that tries to do deeds, right, deed provenance, then they have to reinvent the wheel when their platform dissolves.
Okay,
which is so stupid, right?
I agree with you. Let me give you one example that one of the 30 projects on Metaverse. It's called Zenair, Z-E-N-Air. They are a business travel company, a platform in China. They already had 300,000 users. 300,000 users
within a couple months.
No, they're business. They're traditional business travel.
Yeah.
And they said they want to use blockchain. I said, why
okay.
don't you use Metaverse? They said, sure, right on. So we did that. And we are about to announce that we have this Zenair project. And like 100% ICO, funded, product ready, gonna be marketed. And we're gonna tell the world that we have 300,000 users. Tell me which blockchain application has 300,000 users?
Maybe Kik?
Maybe. And there comes the regulation.
Right.
The ICO ban. And Zenair has to refund every cent. But it was such a good project.
Wow.
And
so what should happen is they should tell us what they're doing, and foreign entities should do the raise for them.
There you go.
And then just give them the money.
We're gonna restart Zenair
Yeah.
in Silicon Valley
Yeah, exactly.
next month.
Oh, that's good. So it's happening.
It's happening.
Okay, good.
So Metaverse gonna have 300,000 digital identities.
Nice.
And
Perfect.
we have another project. We call it T-Chain. You drink tea, right? It sounds like a scam coin. Initially, when the founder approached me, say T-Chain, I was like,
Well, it's like pot coin or beer.
yeah, I think a scam coin. But they actually have chain restaurants, tea restaurants. So you can drop in and drink tea with your friends. They have many members. I don't know how many, maybe tens of thousands. And they have different kinds of tea. They number them. They call it 1973, 1442. Those are tea. And they tokenize them. So if these tea was a lot of money, so each gram of tea probably was some money. And they tokenize them. So when you drop in, you have a wallet. Actually, where's my... It's here. I'll show you this.
Actually, I think it's a good idea. One of my advisors said we should do coffee.
Yeah.
I thought he was joking, but he was serious.
No, it's not. So when you drop into the restaurant, you say, I have a 1434, but today I want to drink in 1973. You can exchange, and and the difference you can pay by ETP.
Yeah.
So this is our wallet. See, you have ETP, you have other. Those are all the assets on Metaverse.
Yeah.
This is a gold coin.
So,
Gold coin. This is T coin.
Yeah. Interesting.
So imagine you have a travel agency, business travel platform with 300,000 users, and they are high-end users,
Right,
and
business.
they drink tea.
Yeah.
and you have digital identity on Metaverse. It's not digital identity on Zen Air. It's Metaverse digital identity.
Right. So
and this identity, you can go to the tea restaurant and drink tea.
Yeah.
And on the side, you can buy some Gold Bar.
But what's interesting is that you already have an identity that's working.
There you
right?
go.
So the only other identity platform that's even remotely sort of working is Civic.
Right.
They have a WordPress plugin, but I've tried to use Uport and it doesn't really work.
So sometimes people compare Metaverse to Ethereum. I was like, there's no comparison because how many real users do you have? And the problem with Ethereum is all the projects on Ethereum are funded by developers.
Right.
I hate that. Developers, they don't know real life business problems.
Right.
What I endorse are the projects created by businessmen.
Right. That's smart. Yeah, you can see that across the spectrum that it's just finance and developers rather than actual business people and developers.
There you go.
Nice.
That's my vision of Metaverse. So I want real businessmen create application on Metaverse. I don't want developers create applications on Metaverse, and after they create a project, they'll think, oh, how do I sell this?
Right. It should be the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's Metaverse vision.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, man. I think this is great. I learned a lot about it. I was talking to Ahmed downstairs, and he filled me in on a bunch of other ideas. But I appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.